The park will open with the basic tour you're about to take.
Hey, it's Janelle Waz, and welcome back to another episode of Waz Reviews. Jurassic Park is even more frightening in the dark. And with the single rolling eye of a raptor comes the sequel to Jurassic Park. Not The Lost World, or even just World. Jurassic Park Rampage Edition.
That doesn't look very scary. More like a 6-foot turkey.
Now, we all know Jurassic Park as the movie where dinosaurs run amok on an island resort. And as terrifying as that is, there is always the nuance that, at the end of the day, they're not monsters. They're just animals living in a world that they were never intended to live in.
Don't the monsters come over here?
They're not monsters, Max. They're just animals.
Nah, we're not about that It's every man, woman, and dinosaur for themselves in Rampage Edition. After the release of Jurassic Park on the Sega Genesis, BlueSky Software followed it up with Jurassic Park Rampage Edition a year later in 1994. The goal of the original game was to make it off the island using mostly non-lethal weapons. Rampage Edition, on the other hand, completely threw that out the window to the very hungry dinosaurs below as Dr. Grant transforms into Dr. Rambo. They drew first blood when they sent him to Isla Nublar, but they didn't know they were dealing with Rambo. Jurassic Park Rambo Edition.
I didn't come here to rescue Rambo from you. I came here to rescue you from him.
While I grew up playing the first Jurassic Park game a lot, I would only play Rampage Edition at my cousin's house for holidays or at a friend's house every so often, so I wasn't quite as familiar with it as the first game until I bought a copy for myself years later. It plays very similarly to the first game, but there's a little more polish to it and is definitely its own thing. Let's head on back to Jurassic Park once again, because life and advanced marketing techniques found a way to get Dr. Grant back on the island.
No force on earth or heaven could get me on that island.
But before I go further, thanks for checking out my video. Make sure you like and subscribe for more of my Star Trek, video game, and other miscellaneous content. Keep those hailing frequencies open on the other social media sites, and a big thank you to my channel members for supporting the channel. If you'd like to buy me a cup of tea and support my work, consider joining up on my channel. Be great to have you aboard. Once again, you have the option of traversing through Jurassic Park as Dr. Grant or as a raptor, but unlike the last time, they go through the same levels but in a different order. And since Dr. Grant is my preferred character, I'm starting with him. It'll be like a walk in the park.
That's how it always starts. But then later there's running and screaming.
Upon starting the game, we get a quick screen about the game collectibles for points, health, and power, before coming to a pretty sweet level select screen.
It's a Unix system. I know this.
You can complete the first 3 levels in whatever order you want, with the final 2 becoming available after you complete them. As Dr. Grant, Wait a minute. Is there a plot to this game? Why the hell would Dr. Grant return here after the last time? Whoa, there's actually a plot to this game! And it's f***ing awesome! The park's being destroyed after the helicopter picks up Grant, which is how the book technically ends. However, InGen is sending mercs to the island to collect the remaining eggs and DNA. Guys, Dennis Nedry was way ahead of you. So Dr. Grant wrestles the radio from the pilot, which crashes the chopper back on the island. It's up to Dr. Grant against an entire island of dinosaurs and mercs to stop InGen once and for all. After all, they could do anything with that dino DNA. They could start another park somewhere else. Nobody tell them about Isla Sorna. Or they could create an uncontrollable army of dinosaurs. No one tell them about the original idea for Jurassic Park 4. The possibilities are endless! Sadly, yes. I mean, this plot sounds better than all the other movies combined! Wish it was actually brought up during the game and wasn't just in the manual. Typical. But Dr. Grant's going to need something a little stronger than the tranquilizers from the previous game. He has an entire arsenal of oh wait, they're still tranquilizers. Though I've never heard of a tranquilizer machine gun before. Talk about a tranquilizer you never wake up from. While you have unlimited darts, you'll want to stock up on better ammo as you play through the game. From your tranquilizers, grenades, shock rifles, flamethrowers,
Baseball's the flamethrower! Bet kids love this one.
and even an elephant gun.
So why don't you go shoot yourself an elephant? You do, and I'll give you such a pinch!
Now, unlike the last game, there's no password system in Rampage Edition, so you're forced to complete the game in one sitting. That also means that once you run out of lives, it's game over and you have to start over. On the plus side, you are given 4 lives to start with the chance to earn more, and there are checkpoints scattered throughout the levels. Though those levels are longer than the first game and can still be quite tricky with everyone out to get you. Dr. Grant starts off with the choice between the aviary, the savannah, and the cargo ship. I do like that you can choose which order to complete these levels because you can either get the hard levels out of the way first or stock up on ammo in the easier ones. Personally, I do the latter. The aviary and the cargo ship first to collect ammo, which I find difficult to do in the savannah where I have a need for speed. Walk into the aviary and a pterodactyl picks you up and carries you to the top of the level, leaving you open to all sorts of attacks before the level really starts. But I'm not going down without a fight! Eat darts, you jerks! Oh look, I snagged a checkpoint. The goal is to make it to the bottom of the level, and not only do you have to fight off Dilophosaurus and Raptors like the previous game, but also a whole bunch of mercs. Plus the pterodactyls picking you up and bringing you to the top all over again. Bridges, zip lines, plenty of raptors, and 0 fall damage. Yeah, remember that being a thing in the first game? Well, it's actually a solid strategy in this level. Why fight enemies when you can just jump off a cliff and let gravity do the work for you?
At least you're out of the tree.
All aboard the cargo ship Love Boat, which is a pretty standard platforming level. It's not confirmed that this was the ship waiting for Nedry in the movie, but it doesn't deny it either. You start above deck crawling with mercs and dinosaurs to go below deck, also crawling with mercs and dinosaurs. Heck, even the machines are your enemy in this level, throwing fireballs at you and right by the ladder you need to take. And this ship is practically falling apart. Falling crates, electrified water, steam shooting out everywhere. If I didn't know any better, I'd swear this was the Titanic. I didn't do it. It's Jurassic Park Titanic Edition, and it's your job to make sure your heart goes on whether you're near, far, wherever you are. Once more, you open the hatch and you'll be here in my heart, and my heart with all the dino DNA I could collect is off this sinking ship. And I'll never let go. And now that I'm all stocked up on ammo, it's time for the dangers of the savannah. Oh yeah! On my mighty Gallimimus steed, I flock this way through the level, hopefully with no T-Rexes around. Tremble before me as I get knocked off by this fence. I always liked this level as a kid just because you get to ride a Gallimimus, kinda like how I liked the river level of the first game for riding a boat. Only this time, I can jump my way through the level. Whee! 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 Flamethrower!
Bet kids love this one.
Of course, those damn fences and choppers keep messing up my rhythm. The goal is to simply ride the Gallimimus until the level ends, and you don't have much of a clue when the level is actually ending. Honestly, this is kind of a tough level, and it makes more sense to run past all the enemies rather than fight all of them. Which, of course, means it's tough to replenish your ammo. Heck, it's not even worth attacking the dinosaurs because they don't even drop ammo. I just start running and hope for the best.
But you never look at birds the same way again.
The final 2 levels have to be completed in order. And they also get cropped at the top of the screen. Hidden ruins? Well, Jurassic Park was never an Indiana Jones kind of story, even though Steven Spielberg also directed that. Will Lara Croft also be making an appearance? Yep, it's literally ancient ruins. Never mind preserving history, it's flamethrowing time! Time for an electrifying experience! Boom shakalaka! More like these guns belong in a museum! Hope you don't mind my crashing the party. The level's full of columns to climb on, bottomless pits, and plenty of places for dinos to jump out and get you. It's tough, but doable and appropriate for a late game level. Okay, I know it's a bit much to ask for realism from a franchise where dinosaurs are brought back to life through advanced cloning techniques, but this is ridiculous! Welcome to Raptor Rapids, the latest attraction at Six Flags Jurassic Park. What have they got in there, Bugs Bunny? In this level, chasing waterfalls is advisable as you're stuck with the rivers you're not used to, with every dinosaur and merc after you to reach the bottom of the level. Interestingly enough, as you descend the waterfalls, the level changes color, which is both cool and a little unsettling as things get more and more dangerous. And finally, the most visually interesting of all the levels, but also the most terrifying. Bet you're wondering when good old Rexy was gonna show up. I do like that they left the T-Rex for the last level. It has much more of an impact while also making it slightly terrifying. In the first game, you're so used to seeing T-Rexes that by the time the last level rolls around, it doesn't even faze you. And I hope y'all have been saving your best firepower for this level because old Rexy here is one persistent This part really isn't that long, but it can feel like an eternity as you're trying to make a break for it with all your limited splody ammo keeping you alive. And congratulations, you won. And Dr. Grant gets to see another day as he makes his way to a distant boat. To be honest, I was hoping for more of a cutscene, but this is still pretty cool. And the Raptor levels? Well, they're the same levels as Dr. Grant's, minus the T-Rex boat ride. Heck, as far as I can tell, these are the same level layouts, only you're playing them as the Raptor, which is different from the first game, which had different layouts for the same levels depending on who you were playing as. The Raptor doesn't have much of a plot, but to be honest, you really don't need much of one. You're collecting the dinosaur eggs to find a place to nest and preserve your species. Heck, Dr. Grant's not even involved in the Raptor story.
Alan.
The Raptor starting levels are the Aviary, Hidden Ruins, and Savannah levels, with the final two being the River Run, again minus the final rush to the end, and the Cargo Ship. Where I had a strategy for picking which Grant levels to complete first, I didn't have a specific strategy for the Raptor levels since I didn't need to worry about ammo. It's just getting through the levels one at a time. Other Raptors are absent from the Raptor levels, but like with Dr. Grant, she has to face off Dilophosaurus, pterodactyls, and InGen mercs across the island. And much like the first game, the Raptor has no weapons other than her tail, teeth, and this new spinny action. Though it's a little weird that she has the same health collectibles as Dr. Grant. I know Raptors are supposed to be smart, but I don't see them using first aid kits.
But perhaps I've said too much.
Even eating candy bars for survival is a bit of a stretch.
Our lives are in your hands and you have butterfingers?
New to Rampage Edition is a Raptor Rage mode where just running through hostiles will render them harmless. This is done through consuming boxes of lysine, which was a major detail from the book that's reduced to a couple lines from the movie. I appreciate it's in here. It also makes the Raptor levels a heck of a lot easier, and I didn't know about this feature until I started working on this video. Now you all know how I prefer playing as Dr. Grant, but I have to say it. Playing as Rampage Edition's Raptor is pretty dang fun. This game in general is a much smoother experience than the first game, and the Raptor levels definitely show it. Running through the levels, using the spinny feature, it's all a marked improvement. And then you hit that Raptor Rage mode and you start flying through the levels. Especially during the Savannah, where the best part is just running full blast through the level. It's pretty great. Now the T-Rex doesn't appear at all in the Raptor levels, but she does have a final boss on board the cargo ship, traveling through the icy freezer, which wouldn't be the first time. The Raptor comes face to face with a familiar face, but not so familiar. It's the hunt for the Red Raptober.
And I will live in Montana.
I'm assuming this is a genetically enhanced raptor that the manual alludes to, making this the Kirk vs. Khan fight of the Jurassic Park world. A powerful foe versus a plain old hero. Well, not that powerful, since the best way to defeat him is to flip him off.
Clever girl.
And then, the Raptor is staying on the boat? I guess? Yeah, the ending's not clear at all. And that was Jurassic Park Rampage Edition. Certainly the more popular of the two Genesis Jurassic Park games, and even I will admit, is the better of the two games. Don't get me wrong, I'm still blinded by nostalgia in that I prefer the first game. I grew up with it, and it has more of a Jurassic Park feel in that you're not necessarily hunting the dinosaurs. But Rampage Edition does a lot of things right. Gameplay is smooth, the levels are fast-paced and action-packed, and it looks and sounds pretty good. Seriously, that soundtrack is fantastic and should be played at clubs. Heck, I even had fun with the Raptor levels, especially after finding out about the Lysine and Raptor Rage mode. That being said, Rampage Edition isn't for the faint of heart. It's a tough game, even with the extra lives and checkpoints, and I wish it had a password system like the first game. Heck, even beating this game eluded me for many, many years, if only because I didn't feel like starting the game over once my lives ran out. I also wish it kept the original tone of Jurassic Park. You don't necessarily need to skimp on the action, but I shouldn't feel like Rambo while playing as a paleontologist. There's a bit of a disconnect there since Dr. Grant was never that kind of character. Where Jurassic Park felt compatible with the movie and even the book, Rampage Edition feels more like an action game dressed up as Jurassic Park. That doesn't mean it's a bad game, far from it, but it's not quite the Jurassic Park I remember.
That's chaos, dude.
So what about you? Have you played Jurassic Park Rampage Edition? Did you love it? Did you hate it? How does it compare with the first game? And what are some of your favorite Jurassic Park games? Please, leave comments below and discuss. As always, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Waz Reviews. If you like what you see, why not give my video a like and subscribe to my channel? Tell your friends. Until next time.